Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. I am really excited about today's episode because we're going to talk about a topic that, for whatever reason, it's just been on my mind for really the past week. And the more and more I think about it, the more I become to realize that it is maybe one of the most important characteristics, if not the most important characteristic to have in business, in relationships, and in life. It is incredibly important to possess this on your path to becoming more successful. What am I talking about? What I'm describing, or what we're going to talk about here today, is the need for you to become indispensable, for you to become irreplaceable in business. We're going to focus there, but in other areas of life as well. As I took a step, like I've been thinking about this over the past week or so, right? And it wasn't necessarily to be a podcast episode. I just started looking across the organizations that I'm involved in. Either I run and own the operation, or I'm a partner in, or I play a significant role in. I have my hands in a few different things. And first, I had to reflect on myself and ask, gosh, am I replaceable in my respective role in each of these companies? Like as a leader, let's say in a company, can I be replaced? Am I dispensable? Or is the leadership that I'm bringing and the vision that I'm bringing truly one of a kind? As a partner in a handful of businesses, am I indispensable as a partner? In other words, am I so good with respect to my partnership performance that you wouldn't want to replace me? You wouldn't need to replace me. Hell, you couldn't replace me. Or am I actually dispensable as a partner? And as an employee at a company, am I indispensable there? I think when you look at these things, you ask these questions, you recognize that those that are truly irreplaceable or indispensable in their respective roles are insanely valuable, are insanely influential, have a stake in the outcome, do meaningful work, and ultimately, where I'm going with this, I think we all should make it our goal to become indispensable in business and in other areas of life. Let's talk about what it may mean to become indispensable. This is what's going through my mind. I think it means that, like, when someone becomes indispensable in business, it means that they become so valuable to their team or to the company, to the organization, that their absence would actually create some sort of disconnect or significant gap, maybe even some pain. It involves, being indispensable involves developing some unique set of skills or some unique knowledge or just some qualities that are impossible to replace. And therefore, your contributions are critical to the success of the organization, to the company. Let's go a little deeper here. When I think about what this entails, I think about mastering key skills. When you're highly skilled in an area that are essential to your company's success, it means that you have such expertise in a specialized area that no one else has or can consistently perform at your level, at an exceptionally high level. So when you master key skills, you are essential. Now, whether you're the leader of that organization or you're playing a role within that organization, again, if your objective is to become indispensable, you've got to have different skills, or you have to have maybe similar skills, but your ability to deliver on those skills is second to none. I think next, as it pertains to becoming indispensable, I think around solving problems. Indispensable people, those that are irreplaceable, are known for solving problems. They're solving really, they're solving problems that others can't, or maybe that others just won't. Indispensable individuals anticipate challenges and take proactive steps to resolve them. Indispensable individuals build strong relationships. Networking within the team, within the organization, and fostering these strong relationships with peers or other leaders or even customers makes you an essential component or a connector and a collaborator. Individuals that build strong relationships, that alone won't make someone indispensable, but odds are if you find someone that you would describe as indispensable, they have some strong relationships that they've constructed within the company. Indispensable or irreplaceable individuals take initiative. They go beyond their job descriptions. They look for ways to add value by jumping in and helping on different projects or suggesting improvements or always driving innovation. And they do this sort of thing without needing direction. Couple other things I think indispensable people do. They're reliable. They're consistently reliable. People know that they can rely on indispensable people. They can rely on them not just to be there, but to deliver high quality work. And that work is usually done on time. This sort of thing reinforces value to the team. Lastly, when I think about those that are indispensable, I think about how they mentor others or at least influence or lead others in some capacity. Teaching and supporting others increases your value to that organization because you help the entire team grow and it starts to cement your role as a leader. So, by aiming to become indispensable in an organization, you actually position yourself as a key asset or maybe the key asset to the company. And therefore, the company wants to retain you or grow with you. Now, mind you, I just want to say it one more time. Just because you're the owner of the company doesn't mean that you are automatically indispensable. You have to earn that tag just like anybody else. If your employees, let's say, think that you are replaceable, how might they approach your meetings or approach your company on a daily basis? If they don't see that you're one of a kind or that you are indispensable, it will change the dynamics of that team. So I really think we have to reflect on ourselves first and ask, gosh, am I indispensable? Am I irreplaceable within my organization? I'm going to guess that a lot of us listening here today are not really sure. And if you're not sure, frankly, I'm going to say you're probably replaceable, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think that, you auditing your own performance, like you may say, oh, I'm replaceable, because you're humble or you have humility. And I get that. But when you're by yourself and you're looking in the mirror and you're reflecting, are you truly irreplaceable? The question then I would ask is if you are replaceable, what do you have to change right now in the way that you're going about business? Where do you have to learn, develop skill, build relationships, step up, take ownership, honor those things that we just ran through? What's missing? And if in fact you honor those things, do you become indispensable? Once I think you audit yourself, I personally think this might be a good gauge by which you judge some of your what you perceive to be your key people. As you go across your organization, I think it's worth having a real honest conversation with yourself, asking, "Hey, is so and so indispensable? Is so and so replaceable?" And if the answer is yes, that doesn't mean you immediately replace them, but clearly there must be some deficiency in their performance, and therefore, as the leader, it becomes your responsibility to help coach them up. Because the reality is, if you don't, then their job, their role is at risk. Now, secondarily, and we don't have time to go into this, I would also ask, like, where else do I strive to be indispensable? One thing that comes to mind for me, am I indispensable to my clients? Or am I easily replaced by my clients? If I'm going to be indispensable to my clients, I've got to understand their business and their industry and their goals. I've got to solve their problems proactively. I've got to consistently deliver value. Clearly, I've got to build some relationships and I've got to be available. Not only do I have to be available, I've got to be adaptable, and they've got to see me as an educator or a guide that leads them in the direction that they need to go. I need to become a trusted advisor. Ultimately, I need to get them to where they want to go. I need to help them grow, but I gotta get there. Now, if I'm not consistently delivering value and being reliable and aligning, my success with theirs, then my my reality is that I'm probably dispensable. But I got to position myself as an indispensable part of my clients' objectives, not just some other service provider. So, a lot to think about. I know I've gone a little deep on this topic, but it's just been in my mind. I think maybe one of the greatest things that we could possibly be in business is described as someone who is just indispensable, completely irreplaceable. When you get there, you can't just rest on your laurels. You've got to maintain that position. And when you do, you are thrust into more influential roles. You are likely compensated more, and you are playing a substantial role in the achievement of that company's objectives. That's all I have for you today. The No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get